Justyna Miś, Interia. Today my guest is Patrick Wilson. Hello.
Dzień dobry.
We are at Mastercard OFF Camera Film Festival, which is the independent film festival. So I would like to ask you, what is independent cinema for you? What does it mean for you?
Oh my gosh. Independent cinema means independent voices, movies that challenge you and inspire you and are maybe off the beaten path, as we say, different than a studio film. So for me, independent cinema is vital to a film community because those are the movies that can change the landscape. If that makes sense.
I guess nowadays it's not that easy to produce independent cinema. What do you think about it? What future do you see for the independent cinema?
I think it's difficult to get any movie made, regardless of being an independent movie or a studio film. It gets harder and harder for investors, producers to get a return, right, on their investment. So, it's a tricky question because independent cinema will always be around. It always will. Even in the United States, we have smaller independent studios that have some success, and then they get more money, and then they become a studio. But as long as you can keep the independent spirit, I think that's great. I mean, I think that you want your movies to be seen by as many people as you can. So naturally, if I'm an independent producer or director, you're constantly pushing yourself to make bigger movies to reach a wider audience. But you just have to keep the independent spirit alive, if that makes sense. And usually that's people that have a different point of view than everybody else.
Mm-hmm. And since we are in Poland, in Krakow, I have to ask you, is there anything that can surprise you in Poland, maybe in Krakow especially?
Anything that can surprise me in Poland? If I saw Smok Wawelski, that would surprise me. Yeah, I don't, I've been coming to Poland for almost 20 years, so only my second time in Kraków. So I love this city. I of all the Polish cities, this was always I wanted to come back here again. So this is a great, I'm so honored to be here, really. It's very strange to be here without my wife. That is that's the first time ever. So it's bittersweet. And I know if my father-in-law were alive, he would have driven down from Kielce to be here as well. So it's tough, but wonderful to be here.
I have to ask you, do you have any favorite Polish movies?
Any favorite Polish movies? Oh my gosh. I feel like I have to mention like Psy because of Paszkowski. I mean, and some of the Vaida movies maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I think if I say one other than that, I get very nervous. Blue? Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe.
Okay,
That's
so maybe I should ask you about your favorite Polish lines. Do you have anything that you say like casually, Polish lines in Polish?
Sure, but I probably shouldn't say it on camera. Yeah, I don't know. Yes, if it's clean, yes. Meaning I won't say bad words. What's a good thing? It's always good, effective. Idź stąd. That's always good. That's always good. I know if I hear that, I go, oh, okay, sorry. Go walk away. Or poczekaj.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to the cinema because during Mastercard OFF Camera, there is the viewers will see your movie Hard Candy.
Yes.
And I would like to ask you, how do you see this movie, your role after all these years? Because it was the premiere was in 2005. Right?
Yes.
Yes.
A long time ago. It was a much different world then, right? What's interesting about the film, I mean, many things are interesting about the film, but for me, when I think of, it was before social media, right? So before internet trolling and the entrapment that it was a much different time. It was all so new. Meaning, if you know the storyline of the movie, so that was ahead of its time, and a true independent movie, an independent spirit really behind it. David Slade was still is, but he's an incredible director and so efficient in his storytelling, which you have to be when you're doing a movie on very little budget, because you can't go, I'll shoot this and then go put it together later. You don't have time. You have to shoot exactly what you need because you don't have time for any more. I also think the performances were, I think if we had more time and more money, it might have been different performances, because it was a very difficult shoot because of the subject matter. And I think knowing that you only had a couple weeks to shoot the film made us all, it was almost like shooting a TV show for us. When you shoot a TV show in, say, 10 days, we shot the movie in 18 days. And for me, I know that a lot of Polish films shoot, 3 to 4 weeks, but that's, on the studio films, we're shooting 5 months sometimes, 3 to 5 months, maybe longer, depending on the size of the movie. So it was a real exercise in, it felt like a play, really.
And what is disturbing for me is that the subject of Better, the issue shown there, has not aged. It's still the grooming thing is still I don't know how to say it correctly, but unfortunately
prevalent. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
It is.
So I guess it's the strength of the independent movies that they show this issue, and
they reflect society.
Yeah,
good
exactly.
and bad.
Yeah. So I would like to ask you, what would you say to younger you? I mean, when you see your your first performances, what would you say to your young version of actor?
Right. Oh gosh. Be bold. Yeah. Be bold. Be daring. Be fearless. Yeah. There's a control, and because I was so new to the camera, I was very conscious, and I think I think you need, I think a really great film actor can both be technically proficient. Do you know what that means? They technically understand how to be a film actor, but also a little reckless and dangerous as an actor. I think that's the sweet spot. So I would probably tell myself to just let it go. Go for it.
So I have to ask you now about your directional career, because you directed last year Inside Yes, the Red Door, and what kind of experience it was for you to direct movie and to play in it?
Yeah. It's funny. I get asked that. Was it difficult to direct yourself? And I've never been one of those actors that can't watch themselves on camera. In fact, I would have the actors in my movie come watch what they did. After if I wanted to something that I wasn't getting, I'd say, come watch it. And the first couple times it was, no, I don't want to watch myself. And I said, no, come on. You have to see, like, we're making this for a movie, right? So you can't just sit back and go, I don't know, I'm just going to act. Like, you have to know what you look like. So I have no problem, you know, acting myself and going, that didn't work. Let me do it again. It so the acting side was easy to direct myself. But sure, I mean, I think any first-time director would say, "Oh, wish I could do it again. I'd do it so differently," and that's part of it, you know. So I can't wait to find the next movie, and I'm looking for it. So yeah.
So I would like to ask you about your future plans. So
Yeah.
can you tell me something about what have you been working on lately?
Well, there's a few things. I'm shooting a film right now with Noah Baumbach. I shot last week. Scene with George Clooney, and we go to Italy in 2 weeks to shoot with George Clooney and Adam Sandler in the movie, and a bunch of other wonderful people. So that's on the acting front. I'm doing that, and there's a couple stories that a couple actually that have to do with Poland that I may direct and produce, and yeah. So I'm just, you know, I'm on some kind of Zoom every day, really, just trying to, I don't do well seated. This is the most I'll sit all day. I like to keep going. So whether there's a remake of a film I may do, there's a game adaptation that I'm trying to crack, a couple original stories. So, you know, and in the midst of that, then I'll go shoot hopefully the next Conjuring movie in the summer. That's the plan.
Okay.